From banning knives, Facebook posts people don't like, and reporters covering Muslim grooming gangs abusing children in their cities, many EU elites have done everything in their power to control the narrative in their little worlds. And just when you think it can't get any more ridiculous, there's a push for a new copyright law that would essentially ban memes. Memes. Any plans to deal with the spiking crime rate, murders, and rape? Nope, we care about memes. I'm Ben Davies, this is Pure Hollywood. First question, why? Next, how? So apparently the EU is on the verge of collapse, so they need something for their constituents to focus on. Because if they are forced to address the failures of mass migration and the restrictive regulations on speech under the guise of political correctness, or as I've heard it said, intellectual fascism, then they would be forced to look at themselves in the mirror. These obvious self-inflicted wounds would force them to address the policies that brought on these crises in the first place. And that's just not an option, so now they imprison people that speak out on these crimes and ban the memes that mock the blatant missteps taken. Next, how would you ban memes? The same as any totalitarian measure put into practice. You simply wrap it up in a nice progressive bow. For example, in 2016, European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker said that he was advocating for this simply because he wanted, quote, journalists and publishers and authors to be paid fairly for their work, unquote. You see how they did that? You see, our countries and our union are struggling because we have to make sure any screenshots or photo parodies by our citizens go through the proper channel so we can pay people for their content, even though the people that are creating these are not getting paid at all. We aren't trying to silence people that are pointing out our hypocrisies and inept leaders. We are just here to make sure everyone is compensated fairly. We promise. This is also such a classic example of regulations limiting freedom and access and bars to entry in different various fields. Because the cost of regulating and making sure every single piece of content posted is up to regulation status and is going through the proper channels, very few platforms will actually have the capital to follow through with this new policy if implemented. Campaigners against this were cited saying, quote, the law would destroy the internet as we know it, allow big companies to control whatever we see and do online, unquote. Hey, big brother. The good news is this actually has been tried before. Spain tried to implement a similar law back in the day, and it was responsible for sparking some of the greatest memes of that period. Hopefully we see the same non-violent comedic resistance shine a light in the face of these bureaucrats who need to focus on the real issues plaguing their communities today. I'm Ben Davies, this is Pure Hollywood.
And another fantastic news, you can now download the Rebel app and take me with you wherever you go to get exclusive content in the entire Rebel lineup.